Hey there, creepy peeps. Welcome to my channel. If you are new here, welcome back. If you are returning, let's watch the cursed movie. So I actually had another movie prepared to review for this week, but then one of my patrons, Ben, just clearly wanted to get rid of me and suggested me watching Antrum, which is apparently a cursed film. So we're gonna do that. And if you're seeing this, it means I survived. So this movie claims to be a recovered print from the 70s of a cursed cult movie. And there are warnings attached to the film, like there are cursed images and scenes in it. You shouldn't watch this alone, or if you do, you should at least tell somebody that you're watching it. This movie is also responsible for reportedly giving people nervous breakdowns, inviting things into people's homes, and it's also responsible apparently for 2 cinema fires. Now to me, this all sounds like some really great marketing out of the Blair Witch Project handbook. And I'm positive that that's all this is. But better safe than sorry. So I gave the room a witchy vibe check, which means that now I've stalled enough and we have to watch this cursed movie, so. Okay, so I just finished Antrum, the deadliest movie ever made. I survived, although I saw a lot of stuff online that said people have died within 24 hours of watching the movie, and it is noon on Friday, May 1st. So I gotta say the concept around the movie is a lot more interesting than the movie itself. Like, it starts off really strong with this like mockumentary thing about the film. It gives you the history of it, like where it came to be, the 2 fires it apparently caused, and like film historians and stuff talking about the movie and talking about cursed films a little bit in general. So I mean, it started off really strong, and like the first half of the movie was pretty good. It was quite creepy. There were some like images spliced into the movie that were really disturbing. And then you get to the last half of the movie, which was so boring. It like, I don't want to like give away the film, obviously, in case you want to watch it yourself, but just after a certain point in the movie, it just dragged and nothing really like interesting was happening by that point. I was kind of used to the spliced images that got inserted into the film. They set that up at the beginning, saying the film reel they found was doctored in some way and they don't know who put these images into the movie, you know, all spooky. And the actual story of the movie Antrum just got less interesting. Like, I wasn't interested anymore. Then they try and bring it back at the end of the movie. So as the credits are rolling, they kind of bring back the mockumentary style again as kind of like a bookend to explain a little bit about sigils, and then they show you a particular sigil that apparently shows up over 170 times in the film, and it's related to a demon or whatever, and that I think is kind of supposed to be like their explanation as to why this film is cursed, why it affects people in such a way. They also talk about like frequencies and sound in the movie and how that can affect like your mental state and how it can make you feel anxious and things like that. I didn't experience that. That might be something that you would experience if you watch this in a theater setting with a way better sound system, I would imagine. So talking about the actual film itself, Antrum, not the documentary surrounding it. Maybe somebody can corroborate this in the comments for me, but I feel like whenever you're watching a movie that is supposed to be retro, like we're watching this movie that supposedly was filmed in the 70s, I feel like you can tell when something is modern and it's just made to look old. I don't know what it is. It's like, obviously the film looked grainy and the costumes and the hairstyles and whatever made everything look retro, but there's something in the way that, I don't know if it's just like the way we frame scenes now, or like the shots we use, or the editing, or something that just gives it away that it's not from the 70s. It just very quickly ruins your suspension of disbelief. So even if I just wanted to play along with the movie and pretend like, oh, this is actually a recovered movie from the 70s, there's just something in the back of my head that tells me it's not, and it kind of, I wouldn't say ruins the experience, but it's just overall, I think the idea of Antrum was a lot stronger than the movie itself. I think the whole cursed film thing, the documentary style opening with like the history of the movie really builds you up. So like the first bit of the movie, like you're into it, even if it doesn't feel like it's a 70s movie or whatever, like you're kind of into it. Really loses steam, at least for me, in the last half of the movie. And yeah, I just feel like the idea of it was a lot stronger and a lot scarier than the actual thing itself. Given the reputation around the movie, I guess, the way that they're marketing the movie, this was a disappointment. So because of that, I'm gonna have to give this movie a 1.5. I think it was a really good idea. And the marketing idea around this is really cool, but the majority of the movie doesn't deliver compared to the hype. So on IMDb right now, it has a 4.7 out of 10. On Rotten Tomatoes, it has a 75% critic score, but that's only out of 8 reviews, just for context, and it has a 51% audience score. And then on Letterboxd, it has an overall average score of 2.8 out of 5. From those of you that I follow that have seen it, all over the board. 1 star, 1.5 star, all the way up to 4.5. So this is, yeah, it's, oh. Any movie, you should decide for yourself, like, how you feel about it, but it seems like it's very all over the place. So glad I chose ketchup for that.